What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon, and it's Monday, which can mean only one thing. We're going to check out the Rugby World Ranking, see what some of the shifts up that have happened due to the Rugby Championship that happened on the weekend. Couple of really big results. We've got a couple of shifts to have a look at, and then afterwards we'll have a look at the Superbru results, where everyone can see just how badly I did. Okay, so starting off with the World Rankings, of course, we had two really big games over the weekend. Springboks losing to the All Blacks, and the Wallabies losing to the Pumas in a really big game, really interesting game. We see a couple of shifts around here. So New Zealand moving back a bit to fourth place, obviously got down to fifth. A couple of you guys last week in the comment section were letting me know that New Zealand have never ever been that low before, so a new ranking low for them. So they're on the way back up, they're getting close, and not just close actually. I mean, this point score has been pulled all the way back now. If you actually look at this, 87.78 compared to 87.76. That is close. They are very close to retaining that third spot again. I don't know if we'll see either of these two teams now surpass France, because obviously they'll go on to play Argentina and Australia, who are rated much lower down here. So in terms of how many points you generate, it's harder to generate more points when you're playing those teams that are much less ranked than you. So I'm not sure even if we see these teams winning. Maybe if they win all their games, you might see them surpass France and Ireland. I'm not sure how much they'll be able to climb, though. One of the big ones, though, we have Australia dropping down from 6th into 7th. Scotland move into 6th in the world. Australia, obviously, having that big loss to Argentina, who played extremely well. Unfortunately, I never got the match report video done. I've had so many issues. We've been having a big heat wave in the UK, so filming software, editing software, YouTube themselves, for anyone who checked out the match report for the Springboks and All Blacks, if you actually saw the first video that went up, it just had no audio. YouTube just took away the audio. No idea why. Whole bunch of issues. So unfortunately the videos haven't done very well on the channel this weekend. And unfortunately I just haven't even been able to do the match report for the second game. So a real shame, but Argentina played extremely well in that game. A number of big points coming from them. I was very impressed with that game. So sees them not really moving up anywhere, but certainly getting a nice boost of points. Sees them very well comfortably now in that 9th position. But Australia dropping down, and realistically 80.97 compared to 81.65. That isn't far off either. I mean, they're very close now to Wales. Wales are getting close to Australia. I certainly think Australia are going to struggle for the rest of this tournament. They look good in sections, but I thought Argentina just played so well. I think the Wallabies go on to play Springboks next. So, if they have maybe a couple of losses to them, we might be seeing Wales move back up to 7th. If Argentina win any of their remaining games, I mean, with such high points like these, I think if Argentina win any of their games, you might see them really begin to jump up the table. We could even see them get higher than Scotland. We could see Argentina get into that sort of 6th position potentially. Maybe it'll go that way. But yeah, only two big results. Nothing else really to talk about there, which is a bit of a shame. I kind of like doing some of the tier 2 games, but unfortunately not. So that's all the big movers and shakers. New Zealand back up to 4th. South Africa getting very close in that 3rd position, dropping back down to 4th. Australia dropped down to 7th, and Argentina just remain 9th, even though I thought they played really well. But they'll definitely have their sights set on another win, I think, at some point. So moving on to the Superbru. So Superbru, let's start off with the predictor series, because that's the one I did terribly in. We'll get through this one fast and not really go into it. So in terms of round 2, a lot of people struggling with picks this week. Really fun to see. A lot of people just getting the wrong picks. There's some big results to this one. So Seri 2 takes the win in this round. 2.5 points, getting one call correct and then getting those bonus points just to help boost that score a little bit. Ian coming in close on a 2 points, and then we have a sea of ones. And then you get down to where I live, in the zeros. Now, bit of a talking point here. I did say in the preview video I thought Argentina would actually win this game. I'll say 3. Argentina to win by 3. Picked Argentina to win by 3, put it in on Superbru, and apparently my fat fingers pushed Australia to win by 3. So I ended up getting 0 of them correct, along with a lot of people getting both calls wrong this week. I don't think we've ever really seen that before. So really the only point shifts that we're going to see are from these people. In terms of the overall leaderboards then, there is actually a nice little leaderboard here. I did see editing the last video. A couple of better ways we'll read them, so hopefully it'll be a bit better. So Top Notch Rugby is going to be in that first place on 4 4.5, taking over Irish Dude, who drops down to second on 4 points. You got Bockies and Cersei 2 there, jumping up 12 places to get to a joint third on 3.5. And then there's another joint, like, 4th place here for 3 points between a good few people as well. Some people reign on that 2-2 area, and then you've got me. Where am I? There I am, 19th. This might be my worst predictor ever. This could be fun. We've still got a few weeks left. There's chance to regain. It's nice to see so many people got it wrong. So it's actually not crazy. If you get some big picks next week or 2 weeks' time when the next game is on, there's every chance you could really jump high up the board. If people get the wrong picks and you get the right picks, you could really get up there. So I'm nice to see that it's still tight, but congratulations to Top Notch Rugby taking over that first place and Cersei 2 winning the round for round 2. On to the fantasy, the big one, the one that's just, God, is anyone else really struggling with this fantasy? I'd love to see in the comments anyone that is taking part in this fantasy. Is anyone else really struggling with this? Doing the Six Nations one, because you have 6 teams and the team limits, you have to think week on week, you have to make all these big changes. I feel like this one is much harder. You only get 6 players from a team, but you've got to make a 23-man team. So you basically max out every team bar one, which you have 5 players for. And then it's really hard to switch players out, and it feels like week on week it's quite luck based. I don't even know how it's going to go because of how some of the games have gone. So a couple of really big scores to talk about. So the best way I've looked at it now is we've got the leaderboard that's over this side, and this is a better way to actually look at the round. We do have all this. It's a bit chaotic. I really think Superbru needs to work on this, but this is actually better. So of course, like we said last week, this is the positions, is the colours. So you've got your props, you've got your hookers. Locks, your back row, your scrum halves are always going to be these thin, tiny little lines in there. Your fly halves are purple, centres are dark blue, and then your backs. Now, we had Klansmen with just an absolutely monstrous round. 205. And a shame we really can't actually check out the team. But in terms of the overall score, look, just on everything. Just beat me on basically everything. Absolutely monstrous. I thought I did really well, but apparently absolutely fantastic. There were a couple of mega picks in there. Just basically everyone he picked ended up being the right way to go. I don't know if we've ever had a round actually be, quite this good from so many little teams. Just have a quick look on the phone app, just because we can't actually see the players. But people like, Mapimpi scored 19.5. You got Will Jordan as a captain who scored 16.5, doubled to be 33. You had Havili, who scored 13.5, Lacania Am, who scored 24, just basically every position, just basically the people who scored best in every position. We even had Gallo from Argentina, who got his 2 tries, scoring 19.5, absolutely brilliant picks. It might be one of the best rounds I've ever seen in terms of just every position scoring really high. The only one would have potentially been the scrum half. I think it was the only weak area, but then a lot of scrum halves didn't score well. Basically, Bertrano was the only one who was scoring well, so not a lot of people are going to go for Bertrano, unfortunately, but absolutely astonishing point score there. Moving down the line, so we do also have Bowie Cohen there on a very respectable 166.5, a long joint second with Alex, who's having a stormer. This is the first ever tournament she's ever done. Really nice to see that she's doing so well. Dave there on 162. Ian on 161, Sean on 157, Top Notch Rugby, and me in the 150s. I mean, I feel like I'm doing okay, but people are just absolutely smashing at this. Moving down, a lot of people not getting their picks in time. Life responsibilities, I know the fantasy's a little bit tricky to keep up with. So on to the leaderboards then, where we see Alex retains that top spot for the second week in the row, which just goes to show if you don't need to necessarily know the most about rugby, you can just get those picks in. It's so much fun for everyone to join in. Even if you don't think you're going to do particularly well, it's all a bit of fun. You can still end up in that top spot if you get some really good picks. So well done to Alex, still holding out that first position. Klansman with that awesome round moves up 12 places to only 1 point behind. Absolutely exceptional round. Really impressed by that. Bowie moves up 4 places on 286, so 20 points down or something. WRU coming in on 4th on 271. Where am I? I don't even know where I am these days. Oh, there's me. I moved up 4 places. I did okay. 268, but yeah, that 30-point marker, my god, it's going to get really tough. I'm going to have a really good captain at some point to catch up. A couple of people moving up as well, a couple of people moving up four places. And another big mover down here, Scottish Squid dropping 12 places down on the first week. I just wanted to have a quick look at what's gone on there. I'm going to guess you either maybe you didn't get a team in, or you just left the team as what you did last week. Not 100% sure. You've got people like Cheslin Colby in there who's not playing at the minute. You very unfortunately had Bowden Barrett who ended up with your -2s. But yeah, you had a couple of good picks. I'm surprised to see you actually ended up scoring so low in round 2. Yeah, only 110.5, considering there's some big names in your team. But nice to see. So we'll see what the bounce back. But as Klansman has shown, you have that one really good week, you will absolutely bounce up. So there's still hope for me yet to potentially win one of the fantasies. But I hope you all enjoyed today, guys. I'm awfully sorry that the match reports were absolutely staggered over the weekend. There's not a lot I could have done. When technology goes wrong, it goes wrong. But hopefully you have enjoyed today, guys. If you have, remember to leave the like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please give that little button a quick cheeky click, because it does really help the channel out. We are nearing on 2,000 subscribers now. It'd be so nice to get there by the end of the Rugby Championship. Hope you've all enjoyed having a bit of a look at the Superbru. I will see you all next time, guys. Bye bye.